Here's what's coming up on your horizon. Well, we live in a global economy. From what we wear to what we drive, much of it is made abroad. But today's show is not about the loss of American jobs to overseas competition. Today, our focus is job growth in Oklahoma thanks to the global economy. We begin down on the farm where Oklahoma producers are heavily dependent on export markets.
Prior to 1993, no U.S. wheat was being imported to Nigeria from the United States, but because of these associations over the last 20 years, we have increased our export markets to this country today, where they are our number one, number two largest buyer of hard red winter wheat.
We'll visit several internationally owned companies creating jobs in Oklahoma.
So when it came to finding workers, people that can engineer our products, people that can support our projects and products, Tulsa was a natural fit.
This is a significant job addition to the state of Oklahoma, the city of Oklahoma City, to have Syntec, who is from the UK, come to Oklahoma.
Plus, we meet a couple from the Netherlands who moved to Oklahoma to live their version of the American dream.
We met each other and fell in love and started with 40 cows, a little business together, and the rest is history, so to speak.
Stay with us for Oklahoma Horizon.
Oklahoma Horizon is made possible by the Oklahoma Department of Career and Technology Education.
Oklahoma's investment in career tech provides more than nationally recognized technology education and training. It produces solid financial returns for the state's economic future. Oklahoma Career Tech, elevating our economy.
And the Oklahoma Department of Agriculture, Food, and Forestry, helping good people grow good things. And now, from the Career Tech Studios in Stillwater, here's your host, Andy Barth.
Hello everyone, thanks for joining us here on Horizon. I'm Andy Barth. Rob McClendon is away this week. Well, few sectors of our economy are more focused on international markets than Oklahoma's wheat industry. 1 of every 2 bushels harvested in the state will eventually find its way overseas. Exports are important to Oklahoma wheat growers, even when Mother Nature does not cooperate. From dry to wet to freezing, Oklahoma wheat producers are battling everything nature throws their way, but not without consequences.
We are certainly about 3 weeks behind schedule.
Mike Schulte is the executive director of the Oklahoma Wheat Commission and says Oklahoma wheat farmers have experienced extremes of all kinds.
This harvest has certainly been interesting. The producers have had a lot to contend with in this region this past year with the extreme drought conditions all over the state. And from March 26th to May 3rd, we also had 6 freeze scenarios. So that definitely has impacted the yield potential for the state.
Well, despite the slow start to this year's harvest, Oklahoma wheat remains in high demand for countries like Nigeria, Ecuador, and Israel. And a group from the Nigerian trade team are here in Oklahoma to learn about the wheat they import and the farmers who grow it.
We definitely use Oklahoma wheat, and that's why we have to be here.
Nigeria happens to be one of our largest buyers of hard red winter wheat.
Yeah, haul it in.
Onumiwa Talave is one of the Nigerians visiting the state and says the millers in his country have consistently been a top buyer of this vital commodity.
These guys are big buyers of American wheat, especially the hard red winter wheat. And Nigerian has been the first buyer of hard red winter wheat in the last 8 years. So they want to know the kind of people who are producing this wheat. What do they do? How do they do it?
And Schulte says this relationship has been built over 2 decades.
It is a market that we have developed over the last 20 years with U.S. Wheat Associates, our federal government, and then the Nigerian Millers Association. Prior to 1993, no U.S. wheat was being imported to Nigeria from the United States, but because of these associations over the last 20 years, we have increased our export markets to this country today, where they are our number one, number two largest buyer of hard red winter wheat.
Well, just one of many international success stories Oklahoma wheat growers have had. Now, after the Nigerian trade team visited Oklahoma, teams from Ecuador and Israel came to learn about wheat produced in the Sooner State, visiting various grain co-ops, farms, and tours. And when we return, an American love story for a couple from the Netherlands.
You're watching Oklahoma Horizon, featuring some of the good things that are happening in the great state of Oklahoma.
Well, dairies are a common sight around the world, so when two people from Holland moved to the U.S., met, then fell in love, it was dairy that brought them together. Our Paige Wallace explains.
It's obvious Peter and Anita Vanderlaan love their cows. Their passion for dairy cattle was so great that they were willing to leave their homes in the Netherlands to pursue their dreams in the U.S.
We have a cute accent.
Meet the
The
Vanderlaans.
joke is, in Oklahoma, everybody got an accent. We have it a little bit more than everybody else.
That's what most people say, yeah.
Peter and Anita were both born in the Netherlands, but didn't meet until they arrived in the States.
We met each other and fell in love and started with 40 cows, a little business together, and the rest is history, so to speak.
A history of working together on a dairy farm that goes back to the old country.
We both got raised on the dairy farm. We go back a couple of generations in dairy farming, and so it's in our blood, so to speak. That's all we wanted.
Typically, the Vanderlaans grow all of their own forage. However, even irrigated crops suffered during a drought. Still, selling out is never an option.
We still love what we're doing. We have to keep continuing on.
Yes.
Working every day with the cattle. Yes, it's still fun.
A passion that's necessary when working the hours of a dairy farmer.
We milk 3 times a day, and it takes about 6 hours to milk them.
Sundays, holidays, doesn't matter, we keep going.
With so many cows, milking is a long yet precise process that requires a number of employees to maintain clean facilities.
Cleanliness on the dairy is very important. You want to produce clean products. So they're in the barn for about 7 to 8 minutes in the milking facility. They're about 7-8 minutes in there, standing in there, physically milking. That means prepping, we post-dip, and we pre-dip. So we start with dipping already, and then we clean the cows to clean the udders with all clean towels. We do laundry 10 loads to 15 loads a day. That's a lot of loads of laundry, but they've got everything clean, clean the udders, and it stimulates also a little bit the brain for the cows, so they have the milk down. The oxytocin is going to be released in their brain, so they let the milk down. We attach the milkers, and they're only going to milk for probably 4 or 5 minutes, and there's 40 in a row. When they're done, we have automatic takeoffs, so they come automatically, they come off again. We check everything, if their udder is really empty, and then we post-dip and let them all go. And they go back to their freestall barns, back to water, back to feed, back to a clean stall.
Staying clean and keeping their cattle healthy is a priority on the Vanderlaan farm. The use of sand bedding has shown a lower incidence of clinical mastitis caused by environmental organisms such as E. coli.
We're going to see the cows in the freestall barn. That's where they're housed in. Cows got it pretty comfortable in there. We got sand bedding. Sand is bacteria inhabitant, so we're not going to have much bacteria growth in there. It's also really good for in the summertime. It's cooler in the summer, warmer in the winter. They have rubber mats to walk on. They don't walk on the concrete. They got rubber mats to eat on. They have special strips for the front legs, back legs, walking areas. And even if we walk on them, we are nuts off that rubber. They like it. It's like, we can put sneakers on the cows, so to speak, but we want to make them comfortable, so they have rubber mats.
And once the milk is left a cow, the work for the Vanderlaans really begins.
You want to produce clean products. A clean product is so important. Milk is so important. Milk is the only fluid that's never been touched by human hands. When it arrives on your breakfast table, nobody ever touched it with hands. We want to keep it like that, clean. We won several awards for clean milks, and we're proud of that, very proud of that.
And while they may be the second largest dairy operation in Oklahoma, it's still a family affair for the Vanderlaans.
We always joke, all our 3 kids, they have milk in their veins. They don't have blood, they have milk in their veins, because all 3 are actively in the dairy industry. We start growing, and yeah, the love for the dairy cow is very deep for us, and yeah, that's what we want to do.
Taking care of the cows they've grown so fond of in an industry they love.
I love Oklahoma, I really, really do.
Now, the Vanderlaan farm is the second largest dairy in the state. It's second only to the Brahms Dairy.
Still to come on Oklahoma Horizon. Are Americans spoiled by oil?
I've been a user for most of my life.
America is addicted to oil.
Like all junkies, I've paid a heavy price for my habit.
But first, Swedish heating and air.
Well, Oklahoma has long been a manufacturing hub. From aerospace to electronics, other states and even nations covet the resources as well as locations we have here in the Sooner State. So when a Swedish firm looked to expand their company to the states, Oklahoma was the obvious choice. Joining me now is our Keela Kellen.
Well, Andy, with summer temperatures what they are here in Oklahoma, it's no wonder our state is a leap ahead in providing efficient solutions for air conditioning, refrigeration, and heating, which is why a Scandinavian company is now calling Oklahoma home.
If you've ever used one of these, or one of these, chances are you've used a heat exchanger. SWEP, a Swedish company, produces heat exchangers, and they have a new production facility in Tulsa.
Our finished product is actually a brazed plate heat exchanger. There's many different types of heat exchangers. SWEP just focuses on the brazed plate technology.
Technology designed to heat or cool water, which allows for a more comfortable living. Jared Lavelle is working to put together the new facility.
At one time, Tulsa was the heat exchange capital of the world, believe it or not. Now, the majority of the companies here make different types of heat exchangers, but the technology, the education required to support that technology is very, very similar. So when it came to finding workers, people that can engineer our products, people that can support our projects and products, Tulsa was a natural fit.
A natural fit due to key elements, including the highly trained workforce that is available. Håkan Nielsen is the president of SWEP and believes the new plant will be the perfect place to reach American customers.
We think Tulsa being an ideal location for us, both how we do logistics, how we get access to a good workforce, a very skilled workforce. We have good programs for energy that we are in need of, so the location here fits very well.
With 6 plants located around the world, Tulsa is SWEP's only U.S. facility.
We have our customers actually in different countries, in different markets. We want to be close to the customer. And also the heat exchange we build are quite heavy, so they are expensive to transport. So from that point of view too, we want to be close to the market.
Expensive to transport, making location a key element.
We are a global company, but we are working locally. We are working in our different marketplaces, so we want to be close.
Headquartered in Landskrona, Sweden, SWEP operates 35 facilities around the world and employs over 850 people worldwide.
So Keela, what does this mean job-wise for Oklahomans?
Well, Andy, they foresee their North American plant doubling in the next few years, as they will start with 25 employees and grow their workforce to about 50 by the year 2015.
All right. Thank you so much, Keela.
You're welcome, Andy.
Want to share something you've seen here today? Well, all of our episodes are streaming on our YouTube channel at Oklahoma Horizon TV. Or you can subscribe to our weekly free podcasts on iTunes.
Well, this may not look like much, but this 4-inch contraption could mean the difference between an environmental disaster or not. This is a casing centralizer for underwater drilling, and one that's made in Oklahoma, but by a British company that moved to the States to be closer to our abundant energy resources.
Oklahoma has quickly become a hub of oil and gas activity in the United States, and some countries are taking notice. Centec Incorporated, a UK-based oil field service manufacturing company, opened its first U.S. plant in Oklahoma City. Tony Cutmore is the CEO.
A major presence in the USA. Well, we were looking at starting a manufacturing plant in somewhere else in the world, and we looked at the Americas because that a lot of drilling happening in the more drilling footage done now in the States than anywhere else in the world. So the States was the qualified option. And then we looked at Oklahoma City, and here we were right in the middle of the oil and gas industry, and that's what we decided.
Centtech President John Carmusio says it's a leading European manufacturer of casing centralizers. The product has a simple bowspring design that is weld-free and heat-treated, and although simple, makes a big impact on the drilling process.
Well, this is a very innovative design product. It solves a lot of problems that were inherent in the drilling process, especially with horizontal runs. And the traditional style of centralizer was not robust enough to hold up in that environment. And the design of our product allows it to withstand all of the pressures and conditions downhole and stay in one piece. So it solves a lot of problems and saves a lot of money for the drilling companies.
In our wonderful state and in our city,
Governor Mary Fallin says the 77,000 square foot factory could create up to 100 jobs in Oklahoma City.
This is a significant job addition to the state of Oklahoma, the city of Oklahoma City, to have Centtech, who is from the UK, come to Oklahoma to the hub of oil and gas exploration, and to have the centralizer made here in Oklahoma. That is an essential part, certainly in the oil and gas sector. So we're excited about these new jobs, this investment, and being their North American facility.
New jobs that are expected to have an economic impact of about $54 million here in Oklahoma.
You can keep up with us throughout the week. Just head to okhorizon.com, where you can see more of any of our stories, read our reporters' behind-the-scenes blogs, see what others are saying about us on Twitter, and face the facts with our regular updates. So reach out and touch us anywhere and anytime.
Well, we are often criticized for importing oil, but imports of foreign oil are vital for the United States to fuel our economy. This global commodity is one that our society literally would not function without, which is the subject of a movie called Spoiled, and that's where our Rob McClendon picks up the story.
Well, when it comes to what we're told about oil, there's rhetoric and then there's reality. Our daily lives are dripping in oil. It's in virtually everything we use and fuels everything we do. But is it a dangerous addiction? To be sure, dependence on foreign oil is something to worry about, yet increasingly, thanks to new technology, our country is becoming less and less dependent on imports from unfriendly countries. For nearly 10 years, journalist turned media analyst Mark Mathis has studied our use of oil, and what he found shocked him so thoroughly that he made a movie. According to Mathis, we do have an oil problem in America, but it's not what you've been told. I was able to visit with the producer-director of the movie Spoiled outside its theatrical debut in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So, Mark, why did you decide to do this film?
You know, I was working first as a news reporter and then as a consultant, and as a consultant I was brought in to do some consulting with some folks in the energy sector. And anytime you're a consultant and you go and you learn about an industry, you have to study that industry. Well, I was blown away. And at that time, I was 40 years old. I had run a successful business. I'd been a news reporter for 10 years, and yet I did not have any knowledge of oil and the fundamental energy sources that run our lives. I became astonished at my own ignorance. And then, on top of that, I was blown away that I was so misinformed and that all of the people around me were misinformed. I became obsessed with the subject, and I've been obsessed for about 10 years.
Well, you're certainly not alone in being misinformed when it comes to the public. I have to ask you, though, in one of the lines of the film is you say that oil is actually good for our environment. Explain yourself.
Even people in the oil business are shocked when I say this. They say, Mark, you're drinking your own Kool-Aid here if you tell me that oil is the cleanest energy source ever found. And the fact is that without oil, what would your environment look like? If you don't have roads like in the developing world, then everything around you is dirty. When the wind blows, you're taking all of that dust into your lungs. This is one of the big problems in the developing world. If you don't have enough oil and energy, then you can't build the sewer systems that you need to properly treat the effluent before you put it back in the river. you start looking at your own personal environment. Everything that you use to keep your personal environment clean is oil-based. So if you separate out oil from your life, and then you see how dirty your life becomes, then you start cluing into this idea that, yes, oil is extremely clean, the presence of oil, using it in your lives, and if you doubt that, go to any third world country like Haiti and see what your life would be like if you didn't have adequate amounts of oil.
Knowing that what you just said kind of flies in the face of conventional wisdom, what has been the reception to the film?
You know, it's been a little surprising. I mean, of course, in places like Tulsa, Oklahoma, it's very well received, and people come out of the theater saying, you know, thank goodness. We've been, for so long, we're tired of people just misrepresenting this commodity, this industry, what it does. We're so glad that somebody just told us the truth, warts and all. It's not some kind of a love song for the industry. Spoiled just tells what it is straight up. So that's been very encouraging and somewhat expected. The unexpected thing is that we have people from the left side of the political spectrum who watch this film, people who are very concerned about the environment, and when they're done watching the film, they come away from it and they say, you know what, this guy makes a lot of really good points, and we actually like the film. They'll get heartburn over a couple of issues that we discuss in the film, but on balance, even people on the left side of the political spectrum respect the film and think it's important and recommend it to other people to see.
So let me ask you, do you see a difference in the value of imported foreign oil to that of domestically produced natural gas, which we have a lot of in this country?
Sure. Well, I would say that oil itself, whether it's imported or domestic, is more valuable than natural gas because it's so much more versatile, it does so much more for us. That said, I would place a much greater emphasis in this country on moving toward natural gas-powered transportation. We need more we need to take the load off of oil when it comes to how we move people and products. Oil pulls 98% of the load. If we could get natural gas to take over some of that load, especially domestically produced natural gas, that could be transformative to world energy markets. Be one of the most positive things to happen for years. And I got to tell you, watching the politicians, I'm astonished that more politicians aren't jumping onto this bandwagon. This is the biggest energy no-brainer to come around in a very long time. Let's supplement oil with natural gas-powered transportation.
Yeah, so actually using natural gas for our transportation and then using the oil for higher value things like you talk about.
Sure. I mean, I believe we're coming at a time where we're going to need the oil for transportation as well, of course. And we're going to need to supplement it because we're coming into a time in which it is going to be very difficult for the world to produce enough oil to meet demand because of the big factors in play. The developing world, roughly 5 billion people now industrializing very fast. Oil consumption in nations that have used very little oil is ramping up significantly. And even with all of the good things that have happened in the United States over the last few years, when it comes to producing additional oil in the United States, that's not going to be enough to meet world demand.
And for those that haven't seen the film, you're not arguing that we shouldn't conserve this resource. It's just that we really need to value it and be good stewards of it.
Look, I think we need to use all of our resources wisely, no matter what they are, but especially oil, which is the most valuable resource we have. We need to value this resource. We need to use it wisely. We need to be more efficient with it. And you know, and the fact of the matter is, we as a culture have become much more efficient in how we use oil, more efficient than almost any other nation. So we're doing a good job. We can do a better job. And as this resource becomes more expensive, and as other products that are made from this resource become more expensive, we're going to be forced to use it more efficiently, and we'll adapt.
Well, certainly an interesting piece of work and one I think our country would be better if they got to see.
Well, thank you very much.
Now, to learn more about the film, just head to our website at okhorizon.com, where we have a link to the movie Spoiled.
Well, when the Farm Bill went down in defeat in Congress last month, the objectives had very little to do with the farm. Next time on Oklahoma Horizon, we talk with the Farm Bill's author, Oklahoma Congressman Frank Lucas.
80% of the Farm Bill now are the social nutrition programs, food stamps, school lunch, and WIC, although we leave WIC and school lunch alone.
The surprising controversy over America's food policy on Oklahoma Show for the Heartland, Oklahoma Horizon. Well, from the energy we produce to the food grown in the heartland and exported around the world, ours is definitely a global economy. In fact, getting up this morning, I did a simple survey of the clothes I put on. My shoes came from Italy. My pants and jacket, well, they're from Indonesia. My shirt was made in China, and my tie is from a UK company, but was manufactured in Thailand. A perfect example of how world economics affect businesses here at home. For years, the American textile industry was a vital part of the U.S. economy, contributing $23 billion to the nation's gross domestic product. But in the last 15 years, more than 1,300 textile mills closed their doors here in America, sending jobs abroad. But rather than bemoan the fact that we lost jobs overseas, I think we need to recognize those industries coming into this country, creating well-paying jobs that play to the strengths and future of this nation. I'm Andy Barth. Thanks for watching. Rob McClendon will see you back here next week.
Thank you for watching Oklahoma Horizon.